There's a lot of secrets that people from the outside don't understand or know about restaurants.
I'm new, and again, I'm being selfish, y'all. I'm getting coaching right now. My guy breaking it down.
I know you have a lot of questions about restaurants,
Bro,
so I want to go deep because there's not much information out there unless you have worked in the industry and you've managed and you've been there forever. Then half of the questions you can answer through experience, but some maybe your audience looking from the outside, they always wonder what is the cost of this, what is rent, what are the numbers. So many questions.
And I'm happy you said it, 'cause I'm gonna be honest, bro. I want a restaurant. Everybody who I talk to say don't get a restaurant.
It has to work or it has to work.
Welcome to an episode of Circle of Greatness. Today, we're about to talk about the restaurant business. I don't know if y'all know, and I'm actually going to speak it in existence. This year, 2023, I'm going to own a restaurant or buy into one, whatever. But today, y'all, I got my guy about to come in and break down just the restaurant industry. And it's so funny. This gentleman, I first met him. He inspired me so much from just his hustle. I was introduced to him by my guy, Dave, man. Without further ado, I want to bring on serial entrepreneur, restaurateur, traveler, my guy, Damian. What's up, bro?
My man.
Yeah.
Nice to be
Thank
here.
you for coming, bro.
So we met, 6 years ago, maybe?
Yeah, so I want to say it was about 6-7 years ago. And I don't remember, did we meet through, because I remember coming to your office.
Yes.
But it wasn't we didn't meet at Pejman's event, right?
No, I believe we met at my office, and I was in between meetings and so much work.
But did you go to Pejman event?
Yeah.
Oh, we were in like a Florida or something like that?
That too, possibly.
Or because it was like a thing where I think y'all was winning something.
Yes, there was a $20,000 competition.
Competition like that. Yeah, I remember that. And it was you, Dave, and my other guy.
A few more.
Yeah.
Andres was there and a few other.
But more of the story, bro, I was so inspired. Dave brought me to your office. You wasn't in the restaurant business at this time. He brought me to your office in Atlanta. I mean, you had your Lambo, you had a Benz. Like, you had, like, all of these malls on lock with, like, probably 100 workers. I'll have you share that. And I was just so inspired, bro. I was in there, warehouse filled with stuff. And I was like, Dave was like, yo, this that guy. And it just gave me a major source of inspiration. I tell people all the time, like, one of my guys said this. He said, exposure equals expansion. Yes. So just that moment, it planted a seed in me like, yo, you got to do big business. And you've been just doing big business ever since then.
I've been trying my best, learning lessons, trying to grow.
Yeah. So tell me about that business, just so people got a little bit backstory. Because I know you're a serial entrepreneur. Was that your first business?
That was my first business. Actually, I started as a salesperson when I was 18 years old, selling at malls.
Yep.
And we were selling hair straighteners and hair products. And by 19, 20 years old, I had my own operation with a few locations selling hair tools. And that was fun. And it kept growing. And we met 6 years ago. I was probably 24 at the time. Obviously, the industry has changed, so I transitioned into something a bit more challenging, which is restaurants, which we're talking about today. I know you have a lot of questions about restaurants, so I want to go deep because there's not much information out there unless you have worked in the industry and you've managed and you've been there forever. Then half of the questions you can answer through experience, but some maybe your audience looking from the outside, they always wonder what is the cost of this, what is rent, what are the numbers. So many questions.
And I'm happy you said it, 'cause I'm gonna be honest, bro. I want a restaurant, and it's not just financial. So a lot of people, everybody who I talk to say don't get a restaurant.
Yeah, why would you?
Yeah,
it's a terrible idea.
Yeah, everybody say that. So tell me why.
It costs twice as much as you think is going to cost to go in the business. The cost of entry is very high. Most restaurants will fail because of lack of capital. So you have to go, big money. The concept has to be right. Mainly the operators have to be amazing. It takes twice as long as you think to open. So if you think, I'm going to open a restaurant in 6 months, it'd be a year and a half before you open. Wow. Building and everything requires permits. Then you have to deal with the city, the state, and the county. Everyone has to agree. Then you get the licensing. Then you have to build a team. I always tell people, don't start a restaurant, just buy one that's already running.
I was about to I wanted to get in it because one of your restaurants that I went to, that I used to, when I was eating meat, I was getting the chicken. It was,
I bought that one.
It's so good. So you bought that. So
yes.
So my question is, you just said, why would you? Would you recommend who do you recommend getting in the restaurant industry for?
That'd be tough. I mean, maybe as an investor, to purchase the restaurant with someone that wants to run it, that would be a good idea. But I recommend getting in the restaurant industry. It's long hours. Yeah. So maybe someone who's been manager for a long time, knows what they're doing. Then they want to find an investor like yourself. Yeah. Then that'll be a great fit.
What made you do? Like, what popped in your mind and said you were literally?
It was by mistake.
Tell me about that mistake.
So when I was 21 years old, I took the first profits from my retail business, which was $100,000. And I was either going to buy a car or something. And a restaurant, Sabores, which you've been to, the little steakhouse, was in the market for sale. And I grew up going there. And I figured, hey, this would be a great investment. So it was I paid 75 plus fees and deposits and inventory, $100,000. I took all the money I had. And then in 2019, I decided to not do retail anymore. So I started getting rid of my operations. And as I needed time to figure out what was going to be the next stage of my life, I started spending more time at that restaurant. I bought that restaurant in 2014. 2019, right before COVID, I'm like, what am I going to do next with the next chapter of my life?
So what did you do those 5 years? You had an operator in there? No, I'm saying.
Oh, yes. My mom was my partner there.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
So she was just running it, and you were learning it on the side.
I wasn't even going.
Okay.
I would go once a month just to eat. Okay. Because I was so busy with the other retail operation. Then 1920, I started working at the restaurant. I started getting the hang of it. Just by being there and seeing the operation, I'm like, this is actually very, very stable compared to other industries. The numbers are flat week after week. Yeah. And I figured there's a hole in the industry where I believe there's older operators they know the business, but they don't know the marketing aspect and they don't know what's trending and what's cool. So I figured if I learned the basics of the restaurant industry, then I started buying restaurants. And my criteria was, I want to buy a restaurant that has 4.5 stars on Google and Yelp, but the Google and the Yelp is unclaimed. Yeah.
What does unclaimed mean?
Unclaimed means you don't even know how to log into Google My Business and click on it and claim the business. Got it. So you're 20 years behind in technology. Yeah. Restaurants that have a terrible or no website, believe it or not, there's restaurants with no websites that are doing $2 or $3 million a year. Yeah. You buy that, you double your money overnight. And just terrible Instagram and marketing. And
we talked about that.
Yeah. And that's how the idea came through. I ended up partnering up with my business partner, Miguel, and we acquired a cafe concept. And then we acquired what is now Real Tacos.
So step one, because I want to get to step one, of course, decide if I want to be an owner, operator, or investor.
If you're an operator, that is your whole life. You're dead 100 hours a week in there. Yeah. You're the dishwasher, the cook, the server, the bartender, everything at the same time.
Yeah. Got it. Yeah. So step two is identify your criteria. You need that criteria is a winning criteria for you.
As an investor, yes.
As an investor, because you're investor and operator. Like you're running multiple shows.
Yes.
Yeah. But I think because I don't want people to miss that criteria you just said. Like, you know how many restaurants I go into and I'm like, bro, what's y'all Instagram? They're like, we don't have one. And we talked about it like, yo, you just add Instagram to your business, everything could change for you instantly.
Yes.
So it's just
okay, so here's the thing. If they don't have an Instagram, they probably have a terrible POS system or a computer system. Yeah. They probably have a terrible website. Yeah. They probably don't have online ordering. Mm-hmm. They probably don't have updated pictures on Uber Eats or negotiated deals. So a restaurant...
What negotiated deals mean? What that mean?
You can go to any company and start negotiating deals. With the third-party delivery. Got it. Right? They definitely don't have deals negotiated with vendors. Yeah. So if you come with a business mindset, you buy that location, whatever the price will be, usually a 2x multiple. Yeah. So if a restaurant is doing something very, very small, doing $1 million in sales a year, and they're making $100K profit, you can buy it for $200 at a 2x multiple. Wow. Right? As soon as you plug in the Instagram, website, and so on, you can grow the operation to $2 million in sales. Maybe a higher percentage of profit, not a 10% and 100,000, maybe a 15% now. Yeah. So now you're making 300, right? Because now you're making 15% at a 2 million in sales. So now you're making 300K, and you bought it a year ago for a 2x multiple at 200. Yeah. So you bought it for pennies on the dollar.
Yeah. Where do you find these burnt out operators? How do you even approach this burnt out? Because I often hear by the time they're on a buybizsell.com, it's already too high. Like, how are you?
No, it's good.
Okay.
Yeah, because even though it's on a buysbizsell.com platform, you still got to have the funding, proof of funds, so you even get the address. To sign the NDA and even get the name and address, you got to send a screenshot of your bank account.
Yeah.
So the cost of entry is high. So yeah, even though it's there, the information is not out. Yeah.
Got it. All right, so I got my criteria. I bought my restaurant. What is my first step? Am I going in here? Am I sprucing this thing up, or am I fixing these immediate things? The website, the Instagram.
Well, I will learn the operation first. The technology side, yeah, right away.
Yep.
And then learn the operation. But yeah, it's a tough business. Well,
yeah,
it's fun though.
Yeah. Let me ask you this, because you mentioned the business partner. Is if you're looking as an investor, the business partner piece, are you looking for a business partner that is a chef that's running? Like, I feel like for me, I would love to find a partner who's in it. Like, you got to be a person in it. I'm gonna bring the marketing aspect. I'm gonna bring some capital. I'm gonna bring like the influence, the influencers. But I feel like you need to have somebody on the ground in there running these things to make sure they're running right.
If it's a chef-driven concept, then yes, basically a chef is more of a management than a strong manager. For you, I would say one solid, amazing operator who is the best at operating with a great concept. I will come in and say, hey, I'll buy X amount of your business. This business right here, I'll buy 30% at this much. And I'll do the funding for the second location. Because once you start getting into multiple locations, if they're a very good operator, the valuation of the business goes through the roof. It's not a 2x multiple. It starts being a 3, 4x multiple. At 6, 7 locations, you're 6, 7x multiple. Wow. If you do different markets, different states, over 10 units, you're at 10x EBITDA. That's when the companies can be worth hundreds of millions.
Let me ask you, so you said the concept. What concepts would you recommend right now? We talking about in Atlanta. What are some hot concepts that you see that are profitable?
I don't think you even have to think about it too much. I will just use Google Trends. Just go on Google Trends, and whatever you think type of cuisine, type it on Google Trends. The attention for people searching it is going to make money.
Let me ask you this, though. We got brunch during the day. A lot of people closing at 3, 4 o'clock. And then we got tacos at night. Like, so What do you like?
I mean, that could be interesting. Like, yeah, like a breakfast spot that shuts down at 2 p.m. and reopens at 4 for a second shift. That could be very interesting.
How many days? I see another thing in Atlanta. Tell me, everybody's closed Monday, Tuesday, and sometimes Wednesday. They're I feel like they're leaving 3 full days or 2 days that they're not operating. Are you 7 days? Do you recommend that?
I do 7 days, yeah. I mean, but most concepts, I would do 7 days.
So instantly you increase your revenue by
13%. Yeah, what is that? 13% maybe? Yeah, 13%.
So why are you thinking people?
So even better. When we bought Real Tacos, I think it was doing about $80,000 a month, and it was closed on Sundays.
Wow.
As soon as we turned on marketing, it jumped to 120. As soon as we opened Sundays, it jumped to 140 a month. That location now is doing about $500,000 a month.
Wow.
And that was 80. We purchased it doing 80.
Is that just one?
Just one location.
One location, half a million.
$500,000 a month.
But you got it at 80.
400-ish.
Yeah.
For mid-force.
But you got it and it was only doing 80.
Yeah.
That's good operations.
Yes. And our goal was to double it.
Yeah.
And now it pretty much 5x, which is stupid.
So now you went and acquired another.
Right. And once the sales tripled there, we said, okay, our goal was to buy a bunch of different brands and just do the market. Buy brands that had terrible marketing or no marketing, do the marketing double. Next one, do it again. But this one was just such a home run that we said, let's just replicate it because of the multiples on the values. Yeah. I mean, you have taco brands in the country selling for 300, 350, 400 million.
Hey, listen, I had to stop the episode. Listen, really quick. This is the book responsible for making so many people grow their social media, right? Their income, their impact, and influence, leveraging social media. And you're probably looking at it like, yo, Neil, I don't feel like waiting for you to ship me this book, right, y'all? Go to My IG Cashbook right now, myigcashbook.com. Get a direct download to get this in your inbox so you can immediately start leveraging the strategies. This is over 86 pages. Every single chapter is going to give you a gem to grow your audience, to grow your impact, and to grow your influence, right? And I literally created it for you. This is the same thing that I literally watch people go crazy with. So go to myigcashbook.com, go ahead and claim your copy. It will be in your inbox. And when you do that, buy everything that it comes with. I got an IG course with it and a bunch of other things that I know is going to truly help you go crazy. myigcashbook.com. Let's go.
How many, because you told me about them, how many doors did they have that sold for?
30 to 40 doors.
Okay. You recommend, are we buying these buildings or are we just leasing them?
No, lease. If you buy the building, then okay, are you in the restaurant business or the real estate business? Because it's very, very hard to combine both. And wow, I got a great location, beautiful everything. And on top of that, it's for sale, not for lease. So you're combining two different businesses.
Right.
When it comes to buying the land, it's more of those Chick-fil-A's and McDonald's. They just buy land and they have unlimited money, so they just build. Yeah. So in the restaurant business, the way it works is something is up for lease. It's empty, right? Yep. The landlord will pay you to build it. Yep. They'll pay you a little bit, $50 a square foot, $100, who knows, whatever you can negotiate. Which means your average restaurant would be, let's say, 3,000 square feet, and they're going to pay you $50 a square foot to build. So they give you $150,000 to build, and you're probably going to spend $600, $700, $800. Depends on how high end you want to go. If you're a very known concept, they'll pay more. They're like, wow, you already have 10 restaurants. You're a big brand. We want you to come here. Yeah. They'll give you more. I mean, if you're Chipotle or a big brand, they're going to build it for you.
Right.
There's a lot of secrets that people from the outside don't understand or know about restaurants. But I would say just buy I'm buying only second generation. Second generation means that somebody's operating there right now. Yeah. And my last place they was doing breakfast. Yep. So we gave them $150,000. Hey, thank you so much. We're going to take over your lease. Yeah. And
so
we convert it.
When you do that, you're buying the LLC, correct?
No.
No?
I'm buying nothing, just the lease.
So tell me how that works, because from my understanding, you had to buy the LLC because a lot of them don't want to give you a new lease.
No.
Tell me about that.
Okay, so let's say you have your own restaurant, your concept, and you want to do your second location, right? Yep. Someone's operating your first, you're the investor, you want the second location. You can build from zero, which will take you a year, for sure, at least. Or you can buy second generation. You have an option to take over a second generation that had been closed. Those are rare and they let our work. What I like to do is buy something that's second generation. Someone's operating. So I literally drive around and find the perfect location and see, what do they sell here? Sushi. I find the owner. Hey, I'll give you $150 and I'll take over. When you take over, you just transfer the lease. Yeah. So you tell the landlord, hey, there's a new owner. They'll approve it. Yep. Unless there's a similar concept next door. Most likely, if you got good financials, they'll approve it. What happens is now, instead of actually doing construction for over a year, then permits and this and that, it takes 18 months, I can actually do it in 90 days because everything is there. All the drawings are there. The kitchen is in place. I change the equipment, do makeup here and there, paint the walls, make it look similar to any other location, do a similar, quote unquote, build up, change the tile, do things, but it's already built. So now let's say your restaurant is doing a profit. Let's say one of our restaurants does a profit of $1 million a year. Yeah. If I have to wait an extra year to open, then it costs me an extra $1 million.
Right.
So I'd rather take over this second, sometimes it's more expensive, sometimes it's not. We're spending about $500,000 now. They're small spaces, but it costs about $500,000 just to buy the key, to get the lease, to then renovate. And then
how can you do this with no money down? Any way to, of course, leveraging credit? No. Is there a way that I can not come to the table with $500,000?
No, unless you work at a restaurant for many, many years, you're very, very good, and someone will believe in you and say, hey, I'll put the money and we'll do your own thing.
Got it. Yeah. So let me ask you this, just so I understand. So when I get this concept, the liquor, I get everything. When you say the
liquor license, if you don't know how to do it, you got to pay a lawyer. Yeah. About $7,000. Yep. Or you can do it yourself. The liquor license here in Georgia is about $7,500 per year.
How long it take to get?
It can take months. You got to do fingerprints. So then you have to get the city.
So I can't get that from when I go buy an operating business.
Okay,
sushi
you buy
spot operating already,
and you want to change it to
liquor already.
But you want to keep that sushi and be the sushi place, or you want to change it?
Give me both.
Okay, so you sell sushi. You got a great sushi spot. Yeah. I love it. I want to buy your business. When I buy it, I'll do a contract with you that I can operate with your license until I get mine. Because obviously the state is not going to say, hey, shut down because there's a change of ownership.
Yeah.
So I can use your license and start doing mine.
Okay.
And then when mine comes in, now I have mine.
Okay.
But it's known in the industry, hey, I'm going to sell you my business. You can use my license until you get yours.
Let me ask you this. So this may be for a beginner, right? And again, I'm being selfish, y'all. I'm getting coaching right now. My guy breaking it down. He broke this down on the phone. I be calling him, bro, what about this? So now y'all get to hear the conversations we have. So for me, right, I'm new, right? I'm like, yo, what if I went and bought a concept that's already running brunch that I like already? Can I just change the name and just
yes, you can do that, but I wouldn't even change the name. And I will actually only invest into something that's been open for 5 years. If you've been open for 5 years, it's hard to go out of business. If you survive 5 years with no marketing and you survive COVID, you're not going to go out of business.
It only could be better.
So that's the main thing, is it got to be open for over 5 years. If it's open for a year or two, you're basically just buying the lease. They're losing money, bleeding money. Hey, just take it.
And that's still good, even if I'm changing the concept, because I'm not doing all the extra stuff.
If you're changing the concept, people will not come. Yeah. The old customers, they're gonna, what is this?
It's something new.
Yeah. But sometimes you leave your pride in dude. Real Tacos is. I didn't think it was a good name. It was somebody else's last name with 2 R's. And we said, fuck it.
It's RREAL.
Right.
Okay.
And we said we're gonna keep the name.
I actually like the name. I feel like
now
it's
we love
marketable.
it. Yeah. Now we love it. But if it's already got a name, I wouldn't even change it.
Yeah. So give me. Y'all went from 80 to 500K on one location. Give me a few marketing hacks or a few things that somebody can do. Right. And somebody's listening to this, got a restaurant, bro. They trying to just double their revenue. What are some things they can do? Right. Instagram.
So we have a thing where 2% of our revenue, the goal is to do 20 million this year. 2% of that revenue goes into marketing.
2%.
So every location has 2%. Obviously, we're running like a franchise. We franchise our own, corporation. Like a percentage goes to the office for office management and C-level executives, and another 2% goes into marketing. And that 2% in marketing, we just blow it. Which usually the average is 0, and we just 2%. Yeah.
So let me add, when you say marketing, like when you say Instagram, is this hiring an employee, getting everybody that come in, getting them to take their, like for me.
I would do that, yeah. I would have, listen, if you own a restaurant, you need a dishwasher.
Yeah.
You need a content creation team as well.
And most,
bro. No, none. 0.
Bro, I be on Instagram, and it's even some popping websites, bro.
0. Yeah.
They're not posting on their gram. I'm like,
here's the thing.
You're leaving money on the table.
Well, you have so many as a restaurant operators, you got so many things going on that you're like, okay, today at 3 p.m. I'm gonna post this amazing picture, and at 3 p.m. something broke, and you're running to Home Depot. Yeah. So it becomes impossible to actually do it. So you got to hire. I will hire somebody. What we did, it was becoming a problem for us, and with different concepts, we said, okay, the next hole in the industry is creating an agency that can do the marketing for restaurants. Mm-hmm. And that's what we have now. Mm-hmm. And we have now 10 employees in Argentina that do most of the marketing, and the team over here that do the rest of the marketing, content creation. And we work with a lot of restaurants now that do the content for them and for us as well.
How important is, and this for me, I think people don't do a good enough job with UGC, user-generated content. How are y'all grabbing that and using that in y'all marketing right now?
Well, I mean, obviously, most of the restaurants that are trending, they have the green wall so we have, the stupid neon sign and things like that. Things like that, listen, if you have 1,000 followers and you're posting it and you got 10 customers a day, that's like 10,000 people that could potentially see that. Yeah. And they got the geolocation tag as well. And resharing customers. Instagram ads. About 1% of our revenue we spend it on Instagram ads. You got to do Instagram ads, and then I would do. Each concept has different things that go viral on social media, so I will keep trying different things. For us, most of the concepts is reels right now. Yeah. So creating good reels, and once you get a home run, repeat it. Sabores,
Sabores, like essentially, y'all what they do is like. They got this
huge meat plate.
Yeah, huge meat plate with like 10 different. Y'all throw the knife through there.
Yeah, there's so much
steaming hot.
Yeah.
And I'm like, man, if I turned vegetarian, so I'm like, I would have probably ate all the steak before. You know what I'm saying? But Let me ask you this. So you said something that is key. One of the things that I want to do is I want to create an experience at my place.
It must be. You might have good food, good experience, good drinks. Yeah. Drinks is good. I mean, that's where most of the profit comes from.
Yeah.
The cost of goods and drinks is not the same as meat. A steakhouse will have a very high cost of good versus a bar who's selling liquor that you can just shelf and it's not going to go bad.
Okay, so let me ask you that. So with that being said, how much of revenue out of the 500, let's say, is liquor?
33%. So all of our locations right now, 33, which is very high because we were aiming, okay, what is the hottest thing right now that I think I can do? Tacos. Tacos is so hot. And what is the hottest drink in the world right now? Margarita. And what is the hottest liquor? Tequila. And what is the hottest type of taco? Birria. So this is all Google Trends. I look at Google Trends. If you look at sushi has gone crazy over the past few years. Yeah. You go to a sushi place, you cannot get a reservation at a good place.
That's a fact.
Okay.
We was in Vegas, man. And we had to wait, bro. It was like
so you go on Google Trends and whatever concept you're thinking of, when you type it in and you look at the trends for the past 15 years, if it's flat, if the industry is not taking you up, why would you want to be in something flat? So everything that's hot, we add to the menus. Dine-in liquor sales, obviously our concept does higher numbers, is 33%. Dine-in itself is 42%. Yeah. 33 is for the whole thing because actually we have a lot of takeout.
What is your number one platform for takeout right now?
Right now we have an exclusive deal with Uber Eats because we had enough leverage to negotiate an amazing deal, crazy.
So that's when you talked about earlier, work on a deal with certain. So that deal is better than you saying, yo, I'm going to do DoorDash, I'm going to do Grubhub, I'm going to do.
Yeah, because they start you off at 30% and you can negotiate yourself down as you get bigger.
They get 30%
They take 30%.
Yeah.
So every time you order something through Uber Eats, 30% goes to Uber Eats, 70% usually goes to the restaurant.
Yeah. Man, that's good. Yo, you know what I never get, bro? And it's very rare, and I feel like they don't do a good job. And I don't know if this is prohibited. But why don't I ever get text messages from any restaurants I go to? Like, they need to start treating these things like
we talked about
marketing. Bro.
I asked you last year. I was like, hey, Neil, what was the best thing you learned this year? And you were like, you thought about it for 10 seconds, and you said text marketing.
Yeah, text. Why aren't they doing this, bro?
They're not.
I don't have one message from other than your reservation. Come in for your seat.
So your reservation from OpenTable or Resi or whatever system you use, that database is there. You can export that data to any text marketing platform. We do it, but we do it for Real Tacos, Sandy Springs is now open. Yeah. Boom, 20,000 people. But we don't abuse it. But it should be done more often.
But you can do it, though, right? Yeah. It's not nothing again. I'm like, why are no restaurateurs sending me a message saying, come in today to eat this? Try we just introduced this new menu out. I got so many ideas. I'm like, yo, unleash me in this industry. And I just do all the marketing stuff. Another thing, I guess, you talked about the grass wall. What are some other things you could put in
that's
your
outdated
restaurant?
but the grass wall went viral with the neon sign. That was everywhere.
So what's next? What else? Because we went and ate, you and I feel like you, me, Dave, we went and ate somewhere upstairs and they had the nice wall. But what else should restaurants be doing inside to make it Instagrammable?
Every drink must have a great garnish.
Yep.
I mean, we do something now where we got little rubber duckies that we give it to the girls on their drink, on top of their garnish, and they all pull out their phone 100% of the time.
So a drink come and you put it's a eatable rubber ducky?
No, just a regular Amazon rubber ducky. Okay. But it's beautiful, and the girls get it and they love it.
But that's small adjustments though.
Yeah. What if she's got 20,000 followers?
Yeah, it's over with.
And probably 1,200, 1,500, 2,000 people are gonna see it.
Hey, listen, one of the things, and I'm gonna send her there on me. This girl on Instagram named Hungry Home Girl.
Okay.
Right? I'm gonna send her to your spot or whatever. I know she charged for it, but she's a blogger or whatever, bro. And I'm really giving y'all one of my weapons that I'm on you. I'm literally right now creating a spreadsheet of everybody who blogs, everybody who reviews to just come to my spot. I 100%. Literally pay them whatever. Because just one young lady, bro, I've been to 20 restaurants she recommended.
Yeah.
Every week we go to, I had my assistant.
How many followers?
I don't even, let me see how many followers she got.
Yeah, once those foodie bloggers, they get big, they start charging good money. They can charge $1,000 for a post.
Oh yeah, she's charging.
Locally.
It ain't free. But for me, I'm like, bruh, this me. I'm talking about. I've been to 20 of her recommendations. Yeah. She's at 62K currently, but look at like I've been to 20 of her spots. So imagine when I get 20 of her to come to my spot. These people are just gonna keep going. So it's like, I just feel like, yo, we got to become better at marketers.
The restaurant industry is way behind in marketing. And here's the thing.
Hey, you're looking at this and you're probably enjoying this episode and the strategies and the gems that I give you. This is just a fraction of what you learn in my mastermind, right? I would love for you to be able to learn more information on how he's able to help Carter Cofield make $1 million in one single day, how he's able to help Rochelle Parks make over $500,000 in a day, learn how he's able to help Tevin grow his Instagram following from 70,000 followers to upwards to 200,000 followers within 2 months. And again, those results are not typical, let me be very clear, but they are possible for those who are willing to put work in, energy, and effort. If you're looking at this video right now, I want you to go to the website mastermindwithneo, NEO.com, so you can apply to see if you're a good fit for our mastermind.
Every marketing agency for restaurants don't know shit about restaurants. So they get fired right away.
Yeah.
Or they don't know really what they're doing.
Yeah.
We as our restaurant agency side, we run restaurants as well. So we know the ins and outs of the business.
Share with me some mistakes from last year that it might have just hit you, like something that happened that was like, dang, I didn't account for that.
Last year was a very good year.
If you had any, because
no, I mean we have mistakes every day. But we did a pretty good decisions last year. Yeah. But the years before, I mean, how many businesses did you do that you failed?
A lot.
How many? 10? 5?
At least 4 or 5. Yeah.
4 or 5 that you gave a year, 2 years in?
Easily done.
Easily, yeah. So same here. Yeah. I guess so many lessons that you learn, eventually you put them all together and you start doing things a little bit better. I think the biggest mistake once you start doing somewhat good things is saying yes to many things. I think the most money you're ever going to make is saying no. I say no to everything.
Wow. Most money you ever make is saying no.
Yeah, well,
that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I know this is going to be multiple hundreds of millions.
Yeah.
Why would I say yes to 1 million here, 1 here, 1 here, 2 here, and 3 here, and then this was supposed to be hundreds of millions, ends up at 50?
Wow.
Yeah.
That's powerful.
You don't feel that way?
No, that's good. No, I don't feel that way because I feel that way, but I haven't been. I say yes to some stuff that I shouldn't be saying yes to.
Yeah, when this one is a 100x multiple and this is a 3x time, a 3x return on your time, and you're like, diversify your time, and then you're like, why am I doing this?
Yeah. That makes perfect sense. Let me ask you. So we talked about what this current operation you got. Who are the key players right now? Because you, the CEO, because I'm talking about the running successful restaurant that's doing 20 million. That's going to do, we're going to say more than 20 this year, at least 20, 30 million.
No, this year we'll barely, if you do amazingly, we'll touch 20.
Yeah. But you might acquire, you
never know, yes.
You might acquire a couple of things.
Yeah.
More of it though, who's on the team to help make this make
so
sense?
we have our COO, Miguel,
Yeah.
our main partner, amazing.
Yeah.
He's basically me, but he loves people and operations. Yeah. And I love numbers and systems and growth. Yeah. He loves the growth of people. I love the growth of systems. Mm-hmm. So it's perfect match. Yep. Then we have obviously Wilson, who's a great director of operations, who started as our basically first hire, and now is a partner. And then we have a system of partnerships. 10% of our company in Atlanta is owned by employees. So
tell me about that concept. You told me about that when I was at your taco
It's
spot.
changing the game, and it's an insurance policy to the operation. If one day we have a big exit, everybody's getting paid. Yeah, it's so exciting. 10% of the company
is that phantom equity?
No, listen. 10% of the location, 10% of equity in let's say you're going to open location number 5. Yeah, you have 200 employees. Yeah. Out of those 200, you choose the best 5. They get 2% each. Wow. So you might get 2 chefs. They don't even have to work there necessarily. Yeah. This is people that are holding it down, doing an amazing job. They're growing. So you got 5, you might have 2 chefs, 1 bar, 2 front of the house managers, or 1 chef, 2 at the bar. Those people get 2% equity, but at a 10x multiple exit, where a location can easily be worth $8 million, that's $160,000 they got in the bank.
Extra.
Yeah, and not only that, if the location does, let's say, $800,000 in profits a year, that's an extra $16,000 on top of their salary. Yeah. It's a lot in the food industry. If you keep growing and you have 2, 3, 4 locations after a couple of years, now you're probably making 40, 50, 60 extra in your because of your equity on top of your salary. So now we can have, eventually the goal is to have bar managers making 150, chefs making 160 as they keep growing.
But peep this, which is so crazy. Guess what? I'm now holding people around me accountable because I'm an owner of this.
Yeah. You're on,
like,
100%.
I care. It's not just a job. Like,
not
I
only
really
that,
care about
if
this.
you were to go open your own concept, it would have been hard. You would have been limited on cash. And if you were the owner and you made 160, you will be very, very lucky. Versus being a partner, we also announced that out of state is going to be 20%, 1 operator, which means that's the Chick-fil-A model. Chick-fil-A has a manager. You know why Chick-fil-A has the best service ever?
Tell me why.
Because the manager makes $250 a year. Okay. A fast food restaurant manager makes $250 a year. Wow. That's crazy. That's unheard of. It's usually 55, 60. If you're great, you get 70. That's the average. So they get 3, 4, 5 times more. That's why the service is so good. Yeah. And they're supposed to work there at least 40 hours a week. And they can now have 2 locations. And there's like, I don't know how many thousands of applicants every year, and just like a small fraction of a percentage get chosen. Yeah.
What are some key things you took from the Chick-fil-A model and put them in y'all models?
I mean, they grow slow but good. Mm-hmm. I mean, if you look at their whole history, they take care of their employees, make sure that people get paid, people have equity. Yeah. I think they do a 50-50 split, but they do a 13% royalty. Yeah. Don't quote me on this, but I think if you work for Chick-fil-A, you're on the top 0.001%. I think your cost to get in a partnership is $10,000. Mm-hmm. That's what I've heard. Opening the location is roughly $2 million. Yeah. Today, bro, I'm spending $500,000 painting a place, and I have my own construction crew. Yeah. Today, with $1 million, you're barely doing plumbing, and the hood. A good hood system can be $100,000. The walk-in cooler, $20,000. The margarita machine, 6, 7. A good ice machine, 7. Like once you do the math,
that's why you got to buy a spot that's already in existence.
Yeah. And then they do a 13. From what I know, what I've heard is a 13% royalty, and then whatever's left over, they split it after they recoup the investment of $2 million average that it costs to open. And I think they're doing like $5.5 million now per location AUV. Wow. So if you want to research restaurants and what they're doing, type in whatever name you can think of, AUV, average unit volume, and you'll be surprised. A lot of places,
average unit volume.
Yeah, some places you think are doing more, they're actually doing only $1 million. Then
let me ask you, what are running great? What is the net profits on a restaurant? What's the average percentage? And then I guess running lousy.
All right, let's talk percentage. Yeah,
let's do that.
For single unit operators, independent restaurants, it could be anything. They don't know. It's hard to track. Yeah. It could be 5%, 10%, 15, 20. Who knows? Yeah. It's not. Once the operation starts growing, gets bigger, that's when you actually start tracking the numbers. Yeah. I will say 12 to 15%, and some great concepts are doing more. We're doing roughly about 20, give or take. But we reinvest everything back into
the company.
New locations. But 20 will be amazing. Then you have costs. What do you think is the cost of payroll?
I'm just basing on that. You saying in general?
Yeah, let's say you have a restaurant that sells.
I'm gonna say restaurant because I just look at Toast. I'm in there. It's like, I'll be seeing like 15 people. I'm gonna say that got to be 30% of your revenue.
Yeah, exactly. That is your goal. 30%. Some restaurants do more. Some restaurants do less. Yeah. Ideally, the goal is less, but their rule is you got to be under 30. Same thing for cost of good. The rule is you got to be under 30. And the cost of goods, they change. Yeah. It's seasonal. Sometimes the limes triple, the eggs triple. Yeah. You just never know what's going to.
Let me ask you, why I see restaurants, bro, with no liquor? Like, how are they making money if
I mean, the only way you couldn't have liquor is if you're next to like a school or a church.
But I'm saying, I see, like, I'll use this. They're not promoting liquor.
What type of restaurant?
I really like this restaurant. Is you ever been to Buttermilk Kitchen?
Yes.
I want to say they do have, but it's not. I don't see people just.
It's hard to sell liquor in the morning.
Yeah.
So if it's breakfast, it's even though you have
how are
it.
they profitable? How are they making?
Oh, those guys are printing money.
Okay.
Yeah,
they got it down packed. But I'm like I look at them. I look at Atlanta Breakfast Club. I'm like, they don't sell liquor at all. But
it's hard to do liquor.
Landmark, though.
Yeah, and we have clients that do breakfast concepts for the marketing, and then when I check, it's gonna cost you $7,500 for the. So think about this: $7,500 for the liquor license per year. So that's already. Should we do it for liquor or not? Yeah. Now you gotta have a bar. Should we have a bar for coffee or for liquor? Yeah. Oh wait, now we gotta hire a bartender. Yeah, and they're not gonna make money because it's breakfast. So so then you focus just on the coffee and the breakfast, and you actually end up making more money. But if it's a dinner spot, you gotta have liquor.
You have to. Yeah. So I guess one of the final questions. Let's talk about the exit plan, because I know most of us don't get in businesses thinking about exiting, thinking about multiples. Like I know you have a kind of what's your exit plan, and what should we be focusing on when it comes to, like, when you get in this game, should you already be thinking to exit? Like,
if you're going for the biggest business structure, yes. And I actually got into this time in the business thinking about it. Because in my previous business, the biggest lesson I learned in almost 10 years is never again give away a decade of your life building something that has no value. So let me at least this next decade build something that's going to have tremendous value. And then I'll decide, right, what is the right move. Exiting is great. I don't know. But we're having too much fun. Yeah. And then if you got something that's already making money, what are you gonna do? Sell it to then buy something else that's gonna make less money?
Let me ask you this. This is just a fun question for me, because I want, like, I'm a hospitality guy. Like, I want you to come in town. Yeah. I got a place. Like, I let people stay here. Like, I got a place for you to stay. I got a car for you. Yeah. Are you, like, I want to send somebody to my restaurant. Like, do you ever do, like, yo, just come through? Like, no. Oh no. All right.
Not really.
Like, I want to have a room in my restaurant. This just Neo section. When he come, this thing always got to be open for. Like, I feel like my guy over at Breakfast at Barney's, he got like a VIP section that they keep open for. If a celebrity come, just somebody come, we need to be ready for them.
That could work, but you're also paying for that real estate. You're probably paying $50 a square foot for that real estate just to be there. Right. That's and how many tables could you fit there that could have made you the money? Unless you have a big enough square footage to do it. We just stack tables as many as we can, really.
What's your ideal square footage for you?
For right now, our average is about 2,800 square feet.
How many seats is that?
We're putting about 60 people inside and about 60 outside.
Okay, so about 120. So is there
plus the bar?
Is there a limit where you don't want to go above so you can actually service them? Like, if you were having 150 inside, could you even service them with the current?
No, there's a max capacity that you got to follow, so you can't.
No, I know that, but I mean, if you got a 3,800 square feet, you could get more. So is there?
In our concept, yes, because our concept is very informal, loud, and tacos and margaritas. Okay. So we can put you next to each other. If it's a high-end steakhouse or high-end sushi, you got to space them out more.
Got it. Okay.
It just depends on what you're doing.
Got it, babe, bro. I appreciate the game, bro. I've been waiting. I've been waiting on this info, man. I can't wait to put it in use. Hopefully,
whenever you want to open a restaurant, just call me and I'll talk you out of it.
Yeah. That's why I gotta go the investor route, right?
Yeah. We'll see.
We'll make it work. Well, I'm gonna get your advice. Literally, everybody tells me don't do it, bro. I might have heard a few people that say, "Yeah, bro, you got to do it."
It's terrible. Yeah.
One thing about you always gonna keep it real. So I love it, bro. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Everybody know how they can follow you, stay in touch.
Damian CEO on Instagram.
Yep. And y'all, I'm gonna tell them about the restaurants.
Yeah,
where
pull
they
up
can
to
go.
a Real Tacos. That's our main operation. We have 4 locations now in Atlanta.
What's the Instagram for that?
Real Tacos with 2 R's. RR.
Okay.
We have a Midtown, West Midtown, Chamblee, Sandy Springs. We're going to do 8 to 10 in Atlanta. Then we're going to start doing the Southeast, Charlotte, Nashville, a lot in South Florida. The goal is
keeping them all. Any franchising in the future for you?
No, we're gonna keep them all corporate through.
You can't do the multiples with the friend. Like,
Well, either you go one way or the other.
Got it. Okay.
And I'd rather go partnerships with the team, the people that work with us. The goal will be to do 2027, 100 million. So that is the goal.
It's gonna happen too.
Yeah.
Let's get it, bro. Thank you
My
so
man.
much. Let's get it.